Focused Warrior podcast with your boys, John and Aaron. Bro, I'm sitting in about 15 degrees, cold,
Fahrenheit.
snowy, and get yeah, Fahrenheit. And guess
Yeah.
what? I was out today in this shit doing what I had to do, damn it. How about you, brother?
Man, doing good. And Focus Warrior podcast is brought to you today by Focus 20 Coaching and Warrior Shed, the Awaken Warrior program. Bro, 15 degrees Fahrenheit is fucking cold. That's like a minus shit, I don't know, minus 10 or something Celsius. Oh, that's
But
that's
I text you, Aaron, this week. We had 1 degree
that's
earlier
free.
this week.
Dude, that's ice.
One.
That's ice over lakes kind of material. Like that's dude, hey, I actually lived in that kind of temperature for a number of years as a kid when I grew up. So, and to be living in tropical kind of Miami weather, 24, 25 degrees consistently every day, it's pretty cool. Hence, why I'm wearing a tank. Hey, that's why I have to go to the fucking gym. I can't wear t-shirts, bro. I can't wear t-shirts because I'm sweating too much. So I have to go to the gym to look good in a fucking tank. But anyway, here we are. I'm
Dig
feeling
it.
good,
I
brother.
dig it.
I'm feeling good.
I dig it, man.
And it's going to
All
be a good
good, man.
conversation.
All good, 100%, man. I know you and I were talking a little bit, but you know what? We turned the cameras on, we turned the mics on, and
Yeah.
here we are, brother. I know you got some questions for me. I got some questions for you, but let's kick us off, man. What you got for us tonight?
Yeah. The deep conversation I want to have, and I want to ask you directly, like, what made you, two questions, two-part questions. Why do you do coaching? And what made you, we probably had this conversation before, what made you start Focus 20 coaching?
Wow. All right, that's heavy, Aaron. I hope you guys are ready for this. But here's the truth, Aaron. I've been in a space of coaching casually for a lot of years, man. I've done this casually for, my son's little league team when he first started getting to baseball. I casually coached, right? It was no big deal. But where I really started kind of seeing that I had something was when my corporate job turned me a little bit into not necessarily a coach, but a trainer, right? And I think coach and training, it's kind of, they go hand in hand, right?
Mm,
Whether you
mm.
have one of each or you are the one. But yeah, bro, I think I just got into it first for a casual. It was just a casual thing. And as it started kind of year over year growing, I started feeling good. And what I mean by that is when somebody would say, John, I get it. I get what you're saying. The light bulb is going off right now. Oh man, you're a lifesaver. I can't believe you fixed
Oh,
this for me.
bro.
Or thank you. Dude, it started, I started liking that.
Yeah.
I started liking that. And then it went into where could I take this? Well, it was still casual for me, Aaron. It was still very, very casual. When it became real was after I lost my son. Because no longer was I coaching him anymore. And he's my kid, right? So it's not like I was just casually doing it and then all of a sudden like, oh, it all of a sudden became real that what I was doing for him, more people needed to hear. So then it got real and it got very, very real. So Focus 20 coaching was really born from me saying more people need to hear what I have to say. And as a
Are
result
you,
of that, it grew. You know what I mean?
so you're talking about they needed to hear your story, or did they need to hear your struggle? Like, what angle were you coming from there?
Originally, it was my story because my story came with a lot of struggle and in the place of I didn't really even want to be here anymore. And so I feel like there's a lot of people at the time, I felt like there's a lot of people going through this right now.
Mm,
Maybe not necessarily grief, but there's a lot of people right now that just don't have it together.
yeah, losing
So
shit. Right.
initially it was just, how can I just get these people to get back to square one? Right. And
Mm,
then from there, it just went into, wait, as I did my research on this, I realized there's more to it than just let me give you 20 minutes a day to focus on your craft. No, I think it's bigger than that. And so when it became serious to me, and what I mean by that is it was never not serious, but it would just became real. And I decided I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket was when I decided that I was going to make this an official business, which again started January 17th of 24.
yep.
So a little more than a year, where I add as much value as possible to people And then the only hope that I have is that I left you better than I found you. You see what I'm saying? It's not something that is so big and so crazy. Now, can it get there? Yes, 100%. Because ultimately, I want people changing their absolute life during this program. That's what I want. That's my goal, my vision for it. But if at the end of the day, I made you a better person than you were previous, I did my job. And to me, Aaron, that goes in hand with what I want to do every day is make myself better. So they're aligned fully. I don't want to rest unless I know I impacted a life today or lives for that
Mm,
matter. So
wow.
it's evolved there in the coaching space for me has evolved big time to where I talk a lot different than I did even at the start of this year.
Mm,
Excuse me, last year in 24 till now. I was afraid to tell my story. I was afraid to tell people about it because I was worried. Now I will tell you unapologetically my story and hang on to your heart because I hope that you can listen to what I have to say. And bro, it just the people that I've talked to, the experiences I've had, people just listen and they absorb it. What they do with it next is on them, brother. So
yeah,
that's the long and the short of it, man. So of course, I know you probably have a follow-up question, but I definitely want to ask
yep.
that question to you too when you're done.
I do. I do have a follow up, and I love it that a basis of it is I want you to leave here feeling better than when I first found you. I love that. So let's. I want to have, and the follow up question to you is all about the grief share. Like, how did that evolve? Naturally, you went into grief share, to get over your own journey, and now you're kind of facilitating it. Like, is this something that is hand in hand with the Focus 20 coaching? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And there's something so powerful, Aaron, about being in a room of people who know what you've been through. And it becomes a safe space because you're no longer talking to a stranger who doesn't know you. And I think when people trust you with their story, it's because you bring an element that maybe another coach won't,
Mm,
right? You think about it like this, Aaron. I heard so many people in my grief share group say this. I went to a regular therapist and I didn't like the experience. You know why? Most most of the time, the therapist that they get has never experienced grief. So
mm, mm,
how are you supposed to talk about it with somebody who's in absolute turmoil with grief if you've never gone through it? So for me now, it comes in a lot heavier when somebody says, "You don't understand." Mm,
yeah, yeah,
but I kind
yeah.
of do.
That's
I do.
right. And I know you've got plenty of stories, and naturally, those stories are private and they stay within the grief share. So, what have you taken from the grief share now, actually facilitating it? How has that evolved and transformed your Focus 20 program from January 17 to where it is now?
It's just it's allowed me, Aaron, to share my story with pride, share my story with conviction, and not hold anything back. If you have followed mine and Aaron's journey all the way back to episode one, you'll hear a much different John. A John who was very reserved, somebody who was very, very nervous about sharing, tried to push
Hmm.
out what I thought everybody wanted to hear, and it just wasn't authentic. It wasn't, and I can say this all because I've had to do this with myself. I've had to stare in the mirror and go, are you giving everybody what they need? Are you giving them what you think they need? What are you doing? You need to share this. Now, I don't care if you've shared it 50,000 times. You need to share it more. You need to keep sharing it and share it all, whether people are ready for it or not.
Mm.
And most people, Aaron, most people aren't.
No,
I had a
100%.
conversation today with an amazing, amazing young woman, and I just sat there and I was just having a conversation with her, and she started crying. And it's all because, Aaron, the angle and the approach that I take is here's my heart,
Yep.
here's my authentic self, and this is what I deal with every day. And people are like, holy smoke, John, what? And then the ones that have gone through something, what's really cool about this, Aaron, the people that have gone through this return the favor. They say, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Last year, this is what happened to me. Guess what? I have now created a safe space for us to talk in.
Mm.
that is a game changer, Aaron. And that's why I feel like the coaching space for me, I don't need a degree. I don't need a certificate. I don't need all these things. You know why? Because I'm bringing this approach to you and what's helped me in my journey. Not saying that the same angle is going to work for you, but we can find one. 1000%. I've got so many resources that if I can't do it, I have somebody that can help you. And that to me is where I'm at. It's not all about me, just it's going through my program. At the beginning of it all, Aaron, we go through a series of questions and we first figure out if this program is right for you. And if it's not, guess what? I have so many people in my circle that can help you and will. And that's honestly, dude, that's all I can ask for with somebody.
Amazing. So where can people find out about this program and how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So my Instagram handle, you can always do that. It's John underscore Alvarado 5280. And then you can also visit my website, which is www.focus20coaching.com.
Fuck yeah, I love it, bro. I love it. And yeah, look, we've known each other now for a couple of years, and I've seen that transformation. But how hard has it been for you? Because when you're talking about coaching, you're talking about authenticity, you talk about truth and all that stuff, and honesty. Like, how hard has it been for you to be able to communicate that to the wider world?
I'll be honest, Aaron. It was tough in the beginning because I felt like I was now being so vulnerable and so open that people could do with what they want with it, right? And now it's no longer just mine. But what I realized though, and I learned this, is that you want people thinking that way. It's weird. It's a weird, weird theory, but it's one that I've had to really just accept is that not everybody thinks too highly of you and I, Aaron, right?
Yeah,
Not everybody thinks the best of us. And you know
yeah, yeah,
what's really cool about that is that's where the magic is.
yeah,
When you have haters, that's where the magic is because they keep you hungry. They keep you telling your story. Because here's the deal. If you decide that you want to tell your story, that's pissing off the hater again. If it's when you stop telling the story that the hater goes, "Yep, see, I knew he was a phony. I knew
yep,
he was a fake."
yep.
No, because this isn't fake. I'm not faking it until I make it. I'm here. This is my story. This is what you get. The real and raw John, whether you're ready for it or not. So what I had to accept was not everybody's going to care. Not everybody's going to love it. Not everybody wants to hear it. Once I accepted that, Aaron, once I was able to finally absorb that information, now it's just me telling it
Right.
until you're so tired of hearing about it, and then I'll tell you some more.
Yeah.
It's just what it is now.
And you know what? If you do get the haters and the critics and these people telling you to, stop telling your story, it's like, well, stop following, stop watching my shit.
Stop
I love it.
watching.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to piggyback off something that you said there, where you know, there was an element of weakness with you sharing your vulnerability, and now naturally that was at the start. Where is that now?
I don't feel like I have a weakness on that anymore, Aaron, because, to me now, I wear it like a badge of honor. And I've had several conversations with my wife about it. And I even showed her last week's episode where I was having a conversation with you about it. And I just told her, I said, it's changed so much for me where all I do is talk about him. I have to talk about Jaden. Jaden has to
Celebrating.
be a part of my everyday.
Yeah.
He's with me still.
Yeah.
Why am I not talking about him? And so it's just a part of who I am. So why am I band-aiding that? Why would I? Why would I stop doing that? That's who I am now. So to me now, I mean, if you guys go to my website, focus20coaching.com, I have a video and it talks about him there. I'm everywhere with him now. So before it was, oh, I got to sprinkle in the no, I can't do that because now it's not authentic. So now to me, it's just I got to go all in with that. So there's no reservation anymore, man. You know what you want to know, what you want to know. Just be ready to buckle your seatbelt because you're in for a ride.
And I think that leads into having the courage just to be real. Having the courage to share a story. Have follow-up question for that. Has that made you a stronger person? Has that made you to, yes, grief is always there, but you're no longer using grief as a currency. You're now looking at it as a strength and a currency moving forward to become a stronger, better person.
Oh, dude, that's, you know what, Aaron, I think about that every day, man. And it's part of my conversation that I have with myself, where it's so powerful to do something right now. Especially, Aaron, because there's days I wake up, especially when it's cold like this, I don't feel like it.
Mm,
That's when I do it. It's when I don't feel like it. When I don't feel like doing something, when I don't feel like taking out the trash, when I don't feel like doing this, that's the next line is you're going to do it. You go. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know, John, it sucks, but we're here. You know what we got to do today. And the reason why that's so important for me, Aaron, I had this conversation earlier, same person. And I said, if I can't keep up with myself and I can't keep the promises to me, how am I supposed to coach somebody else to do it?
mm,
If I'm not willing to go into the ice bath, but I'm telling this person to go in the ice bath, that's a problem. So for me now, it's what can I do? What needs to be done? You know it needs to be done. I know you don't feel like it tonight, but just do it. You got to get up early. You know you do, right? That's crazy. It's Sunday. Why do I got to get up early? You have to get up early. That's my follow-up line. I don't even leave any room for discussion, Aaron. Like maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. We'll see. No, it's you got to get up. And Aaron, I've said this before on the podcast. It's not about the gym. The gym is a bonus. The gym, the muscles, everything, that's a bonus. That's great. It's what I said I would do. And I've probably said this in the podcast more recently, a few, 3 or 4 or 5 times, but I want everybody to hear it again. It's how I coach you. It's how you're going to feel my presence and go, hey, did you keep up with your end of the deal? Because I kept up with mine. I'm here for you. I'll show up. Doesn't matter if it's snowing outside and it's freaking ugly, right? I'm out. I'm there. I'm doing it, right?
and yeah,
And then
and it,
there's that little voice. I was at the office today and it started snowing. Why are you here? You know exactly why you're here. Get to work. And then I turned it around. I went to work.
you did.
It's that
Yep.
kind of conversation now, Aaron. It's just it's the power of now, dude. And I don't think a lot of people realize that because again, same conversation. I was telling this young lady, we don't know what time is our time, so why would we not operate like today's that day? And she just was just wowed by that, bro. But it's just,
It's
and
true.
stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. We have some content coming from that. She recorded some of it, which I thought was really, really cool of her. But it's just the power of now, Aaron. And I think that's the beautiful part, not to sprinkle this in too, but that's how billionaires operate. They're not any smarter than us. If they have an idea, they already have it in action. It's not talked about for 3 weeks before you do something, it's action.
Yep. I agree.
The more action we get into, the less anxiety we have. That's 100% raw and real, and that's where I come from now, brother.
And the one thing I want to kind of end with this, because I know, hey, we want to try and keep these things short, punchy, straight to the point, no bullshit and direct. The one thing I want to end with in everything that you said, yeah, yes, we're showing up for ourselves, but here's the reality, and we don't realize it until these people reach out to us. Someone is watching what you do every single day at the hope that they're going to have the courage to follow in your footsteps.
Yes.
And they're watching you and they're not strong enough to be able to go, you know what, I can do this too. And the one day that they see you slip up is their reason why they don't do what they know they need to do.
Well, good. That's so
So,
good, man.
so as a coach, both of us, mate, you and I are in the same space. I mean, I've been in the fitness game for nearly 30 years. I've been in the coaching space for pretty much that long. The thing is, though, that if I can't show what I do to inspire other people to live a more fulfilling life, then who the fuck am I kidding? You know?
Right.
So the biggest thing is that, and I want everyone to pay attention to this because everything you're doing, you're inspiring someone to go, you know what, I can do that too.
Wow.
And they're watching you.
Wow.
They're watching you and they're building up that courage and that strength to go, you know what, I can do this too. So don't fucking stop. John, do not stop, brother. Keep
No,
going.
it's thank you for saying that, Aaron, because that's true, man. And you're right. I think the insult comes into, you playing small you deciding you don't feel like it is insulting to those that are watching around you,
Mm,
hoping that they get the courage to do what you do, or even the courage to reach out to you and go, "Hey, John, I've been watching you. Hey, Aaron, I've been watching you for years, man. I just never had the strength or the courage to reach out to you. I'm finally here now and I'm ready to work with you. Or I'm ready to do this for myself. What can
yep,
I do? What can you offer me?" Brother, that's so powerful, man, because the more that we do that and the more we show up, the more people who are looking at us from that space show up in hopes that we can help them or we can change their life. And brother,
100%.
you couldn't have said it any better than that, man. That's just gold right there, brother.
All
That's
right.
good.
Well, it needed to be said, and I feel it every day. Hence why I'm showing up for myself because, there are people that are going, fuck, just what if? What if I took myself first? What if I put myself first just this one time? Just what if? So, where can people find you again, and where can they also find the Focus 20 coaching, and how can they get in touch with you to find out more?
Yeah, so get in touch with me through Instagram. My handle is John underscore Alvarado 5280. And my website, if you guys want to book a free 30-minute call with me, www.focus20coaching.com. So that's where you can either reach out to me through Instagram, DM me, or just go straight into my website and my Calendly link is at the bottom and you can book a call with me.
Easy, guys. There's nothing wrong with just having a conversation.
Let's do
Just
it.
start. Just start with
Start.
starting. It doesn't have to be the perfect timing, doesn't have to be the perfect space, doesn't have to be the perfect thing that you're doing. Just start. John, appreciate it, brother. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We're going to make this nice and quick. Don't worry, we've got another episode coming up next week, and stay tuned because there's always something going on in our lives. But
That's
please
right.
do us a favor if you found any value, leave us a comment, share with someone who you feel needs to hear this message, or get in touch with John, get in touch with the Focus 20, share like his content, show him some love, give him a follow on Instagram as well. He's a top bloke. I've known him now for a good shit. We're going on nearly 2.5 years
Going on
now,
3 years, Aaron.
going on
Three
nearly
years.
3 years. And it's been an amazing friendship so far. It's like literally we were brothers from another mother, literally. Our lives are so fucking similar. It's uncanny. It's been a great journey, and it's definitely more adventures to come. So please do us a favor, give John a share and a follow on Insta. And yeah, like I said, if there's you got any value from this podcast, please share with someone that you feel needs to hear it. So John, appreciate you as normal stud.
Cheers back to you,
Love
mate.
you,
Until next week,
love you,
brother.
man. All right, guys, appreciate it. Thanks, then.
Take care, guys.